Yo, what's up? We are building an agency to seven figures live using AI agents, and that's the whole purpose of this channel. So basically document the journey, building my agency to seven figures or wherever the hell we get it to. Maybe exit it one day. That'd be freaking sick. But I respond to all the comments in every single video, so I'm gonna go through some of the comments first since we don't have a lot on the actual game plan. If you're somebody that's been following along with the videos, I have, some of you guys commented that you watch these every single day. Here's a little bit of an update on where we're at. So we've done like the first initial blast of SMS messages. Maybe I should just make myself bigger for this. But yeah, we've done the first initial blast of SMS messages. I think we had like 8,000 leads that we got, and we just blasted them and we're following up. So we're getting appointments and it's going very well. And I think that's actually what I want to make the main topic of this video is how to get like your first 5 clients. When I started my SMMA like 3 years ago at this point, it took me 8 months to land my first client, and a lot of it was just due to skill deficiency. I didn't understand marketing and sales. I was just like a kid, like straight out of college. So that played a part in it. But another thing that played a part in it was that the offer wasn't irresistible to the point that when you're starting, you don't have any case studies, right? And so the chances somebody's going to hand you over thousands of dollars or start paying you a monthly retainer are relatively slim. The first client that ever paid me was, I tell this story all the time, I got super lucky. Like, this realtor just gave me a shot. Like, she knew I didn't have any case studies. She knew I was just a young hustler. And you'll see that when you work with older people, you work with med spas or realtors or dentists or lawyers. If you're a younger guy, like, people respect the hustle, the cool ones at least. But yeah. So what my recommendation is like, if you're trying to get your first 5 clients, just go with like the most irresistible offer out there. And the most irresistible offer is an offer that doesn't take much risk up front from clients. And I'll tell you a little bit of my game plan, right? So at this point, we're at like 5 clients. A couple of them like launching this week. A couple other ones, I'm just waiting on some things from them. But we're at like 5 clients, right? And the offer is a pay per appointment model. So I'm basically charging them $100 per appointment that shows up, which is such an easy offer to say yes to, Like the only upfront cost to them, sorry, I have a bunch of dog hair on me. Got my boy Shelby jumping on me. Also, it's my last day in this apartment. So I've been this was my first ever apartment. Before this, 14 months ago, I was still living with my parents, and we're in Wynwood now, and we're finally moving out. So we're getting a nicer spot, and you'll see the scenery change tomorrow. We're moving everything tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to film. I'm going to try to, but we'll see what that looks like. Anyways, the performance offer. So pay per appointment, setup fee is they pay for like a batch of leads that I get them. So usually it's like $300. They pay a subscription to Agent Kong, which is the AI agent that they're basically using to send text. And so it's $397 up front, and then it's just like $100 per appointment. And that's an offer that you can make money on, per appointment, per lead. There's a lot of people doing that right now. Per closed deal is something I wouldn't recommend at all, actually. Like, I definitely would never recommend that because you take all the risk, right? And you're like, yeah, like, I'll get you leads, I'll get you appointments, and I'll hope you close them, and hopefully I make money. Like, it doesn't work like that, dude. The people that ask for pay per closed deal are usually just really bad at business and bad at sales and marketing. And so they try to compensate for that by having literally zero risk and just putting all the risk on yourself. So even if somebody like offers that to you, like, oh, hey, John, like, can we do a pay per close deal? Say no. Say no. That's completely out of my control. But what is in my control is that we get you the right high quality leads and we get appointments on your calendar. That is what I can control. And if you have enough of those appointments, you're going to make a lot of money. And the right entrepreneur, the right business owner understands that. It's a numbers game. Like, hey, if I get you 10 appointments and you pay $100 for each, you're paying me $1,000. Let's say you close 3 out of those 10 appointments. What's 3 clients worth to you? To a roofer, thousands of dollars. To a realtor, tens of thousands of dollars. To a lawyer, a lot of money. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you typically want to sell to somebody that sells something higher ticket. So yeah. My recommendation to you is if you're trying to get your first 5 clients, I would go with some type of performance offer. Like something, pay per lead, pay per appointment, pay per close deal, just not much up front. You can get them to pay for go high level, so you can start stacking some recurring cash. You can get them to pay for Agent Kong, right, the AI agent. You can rebuild them on different things. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. And then once you get that first base of clients and you start getting case studies in the door, then you can decide what to do with your model. You know, that's what my recommendation would be if I was starting over from zilch scratch. It's what I'm doing right now. Like, performance offer, easiest way to get the first 5, 10, 15, 20 clients in the door. Get case studies with those clients. Then you have the decision and you have the leverage to go and start selling for an upfront offer. I'll explain that to you. Matter of fact, Alex Becker, he made a great video on this. Like, he was talking about, he was basically flaming like the whole corporate ladder and all that BS of like, the whole corporate world. And he was saying, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters if you want to make money on your own are results and leverage. If you can get somebody a result that other people can't, that gives you leverage. And that allows you to charge the prices that you want to charge, right? And so with this new offer that I'm running, like, I just need results, and that'll give me the leverage to say, hey, nobody else is really doing this stuff with AI in the real estate space. Like, let me go and rip this offer. So yeah, once I start getting those case studies in the door and I have real tangible results, that allows me to be more picky with how I choose to price my model. So I can decide, like, hey, I'm gonna start charging 10 grand as a setup fee, and it'll work, you know? Will I get fewer clients? Yeah, but they're paying 10K PIFs. And the people that can pay 10K PIFs are gonna be great clients, right? I'll hit this point in a second. There's trade-offs to everything, right? And I'm gonna hit on that in a second. But, you know, you can go with the PIF model. You could also go with like a low-ticket subscription. I'll never forget, one of my, I'm actually not gonna say his name, but he was a client of mine, a coaching client of mine. His name, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was a coaching client of mine about like 2 years ago. And I'm not going to say his name so I could actually disclose the numbers, but he was doing a couple grand a month, and he was basically reselling Go High Level. If you don't know Go High Level, it's a CRM, right? He's reselling the CRM, so he's basically giving this to clients, and they're starting to use the CRM to get more leads, get more sales. He's reselling it to contractors. And when we were working together, I kept telling him, I'm like, dude, I want you to rip a high ticket offer, because he was just reselling Go High Level at a couple $100 a month. I was like, bro, you gotta rip a high ticket offer, rip a high ticket offer. He didn't listen to me. Dude is stubborn and just puts his head down and focuses, and I super respect him. But he didn't listen to me, and I was like, all right, bro, I mean, do your thing, trust your gut. And he stayed reselling Go High Level at a couple $100 a month, and today he's doing 100 grand a month in recurring revenue with, I believe he has pretty good profit margins. I don't know, but that's a pretty cool case study. You know, like, you can go with a low ticket subscription model and just resell Agent Kong or Go High Level and these types of softwares for a low monthly retainer. You could also just go with a high monthly retainer for a done for you service. You know, say, hey, instead of paying for appointments and all that stuff, like, it's $2 grand a month, right? So you can go the retainer model. You can go with the low ticket subscription model, more like a SaaS type of model. You could go the you can continue doing performance-based, continue scaling pay-per-lead, pay-per-appointment, pay-per-close deal. You can continue scaling that. Once you have results, that gives you the leverage to decide on what type of model you want to build. And the big thing that I'm telling you is it doesn't matter which model. Everybody online tries to sell you, like, hey, there's only one way to do this thing. And I want to tell, because I, like just transparently, dude, like, there is no one way. Whatever you decide to do, and this is in regard to, like, everything in life, there's always a trade-off. Every decision you make, there's a trade-off for what you actually decide to move forward with. If I decide to go eat at Denny's, I'm trading off going to eat at freaking Applebee's or something. You get what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with this. If you decide to go with like a high-ticket model, you look at the benefits and you're like, oh, I get to charge $5,000 up front. I get to be heavy on cash. I get to, like, get these PIFs in the door. What are the cons to it? Oh, it's harder to sell. Naturally, it's just harder to sell. It requires more trust. It requires more time spent between you and the prospect, which means you're going to have better marketing systems in place, text and email automations going out, YouTube videos going out, getting people to engage in the content. So it's harder to actually sell. So there's pros and cons to everything. The grass is greener where you water it, right? I was just talking to one of my boys about that. The grass is greener where you water it. It doesn't matter what model you decide to do. Big reason most people are stuck is they're jumping from ship to ship, from niche to niche, from service delivery to service delivery, from model to model. And you end up realizing the grass is just greener where I water it. This thing, once I start it, it looks super good because I'm thinking about doing it. And then once you start it, you realize, oh crap, wait, this is why it's actually hard. Not everybody in the world is doing it, So just simple stuff like this. Everything has a trade-off. So if you decide to go with like continuing to scale a pay-per-result model, you're trading off the fact that you can be collecting like 5, 10K PIFs up front and getting that dopamine from getting a big PIF, you know? So yeah, everything has trade-offs. My recommendation to you is start with a no-brainer offer, which is some type of pay-per-result type of offer. Get case studies in the door that gives you the results and leverage to go and decide what type of pricing model you have, whether it's low-ticket subscriptions, high-ticket, mid-ticket, monthly retainer, that type of stuff. Okay, hopefully that's some value there. So just some stuff I've been thinking about. To answer some of the questions in the comments, Shamidify commented 7 hours ago. Great video. One question: why not use Go High Level Conversation Bot instead of AgentCom? To be completely honest, I haven't looked into Go High Levels. Sorry, let me just exit that. I haven't looked into Go High Levels Conversation Bot. I don't know if it's like the purpose of AgentCom is to become a salesperson, an AI salesperson, essentially, right? So that's what I use it for. It's just like an appointment setter. I was looking at Go High Levels chatbot here, like, let me actually pull it up for you, but like, I have to go to the agency view. Repetitive tasks, streamline workflows. It's more like a general AI bot is what it seems like to me. By all means, brother, go test it as an appointment setter, and if it freaking crushes, let me know, bro. I just haven't used it, so that's why I don't use Go High Level Conversation Bot. So I don't have like a real answer for you. I just haven't tested it. Go test it and see. Next comment, Joao. What's up, brother? Publicly subscribed. Awesome, brother. You subscribed to the channel. Well, hopefully you're watching this. How do you get the leads for the realtor? I use an AI tool. Now, I don't believe I should disclose that. I don't think I should, but it's easy to find a million different AI tools to like basically just grab data of homeowners. That's all I'm doing, okay? And to answer your question, you said you can find lists of businesses pre-made. However, how do you find lists of people who want to sell or buy a home and do not already have a realtor? So what I'm doing, Joao, is I'm not finding a list of people that say like, hey, I want to sell my home. What I'm doing is I'm finding a list of homeowner data. I'm finding their phone number, I'm finding their address, I'm finding their property value, and then I'm reaching out to them and seeing if they're interested in buying or selling. If they are interested in buying or selling, then they become an actual lead for my realtor client. You see what I'm saying? So there is no way to just get a list of people that are like, yeah, Joao, I want to sell my house in the next 30 days. Like, you have to actually go and engage with them, and that's going to be either via ads or via outreach or content, So yeah, you're welcome, brother. Keep up with the content. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. What app are you using to record these videos? Loom, bro. Loom's been the go-to. Killer Cheese. What's up, Killer Cheese? It's my client James, for those of you that don't know. But yeah, that basically answers the question. So it's a short video for today, but we're making progress, dude, and I'm really excited for what's coming. We got the move for the rest of this week, so I'm very focused on like just getting to my new place and everything. But once we're locked in back there, dude, it's time to turn on the fucking jets, bro. Like, I am blitz scaling this shit. I'm blitz scaling it. Like, that's the only option. And it's going to be a lot of work. Like, I remember I told my girlfriend, she's here, I was like, I'm entering a season of my life now where I'm going to be grinding. Like a couple of months ago, we were doing like 30, we hit like a 48K month in profit in the coaching business. And I was just kind of coasting, dude, like a couple hours a week work. But I'm thrilled. I'm like super stoked to work on this new offer, to be inside and Go High Level, building out the, all the automations and everything, and just building something that could work without me. Just because, why not? I'm bored. Like, why not? So yeah, it's going to be a season of just grinding. Head down, just grinding. There's so much I have to do. I'll tell you a little bit. Maybe this will be valuable for you that's still watching. Like, what is on my to-do list, I'm building a landing page for the offer, since, I'm getting a lot of people asking me for my website and stuff, and I just want to be able to send people to my landing page. So, just building out my landing page, creating the VSL for the offer is a big one, like an actual decent VSL. So VSL landing page, scaling, the outreach, getting more calls booked, streamlining the actual delivery process, so getting clear on that. I'm starting to film SOPs to start launching these clients. That's something you want to do, by the way. If you want to eventually hire a team and stuff, when you're launching your clients right now, when you're doing a lot of the tasks inside of your business, all you want to do is, like, I have Loom installed into my Mac, right? You see Loom up here. You click this button, record your screen. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm onboarding a client, right? So I'll record that call, onboarding a client, because that'll become an SOP, a standard operating procedure, when I hire somebody, a client success manager, to go and do those onboarding calls with the client, right? You need to have assets and training and material ready for somebody that you're gonna hire. So instead of just going and filming it once you hire the person, just film it right now, put it in a Google Drive folder. Hey, these are the SOPs. This is how you launch a client. This is how you do X, Y, and Z, et cetera, et cetera. So those are a couple of things I'm doing. I'm building SOPs as I launch these clients. I'm focused on getting them results and getting them appointments, making sure AgentCon works for them. I'm filming a new VSL for the offer, and that's all happening the rest of this week as I move in and get everything ready. So that's kind of my journey. That's kind of what I'm doing. Thanks for following along, and drop a comment down below on your business, on anything you got, because I'll answer it to the best of my abilities. I've worked with dozens and dozens of agency owners, coaches. I built my own business and scaled it, so if you want that advice, just let me know. All right, that's it for this video. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.